What's up, everybody? I'm B-True, and as you can see, I have a different main. So, we're going to be going over my new lineup as well as the new ninja that I got, Sage Jiriaya. But first, if you're interested in more Naruto Online content, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification button so you always know when I'm live streaming and you don't miss any of my future videos. Anyway, let's get into it. So, I am now the Fire main, and this is because I got Sage Jiriaya. So, actually, let's go in here to character. So, I got Sage Jiriaya from the Lucky Board. I didn't redeem any points on him, as you can see here. I didn't redeem any of these fragments. I got him strictly just from throwing through this over the past couple months. So I got him pretty much for free on top of the power that I got. You can see here I got all the medium level refinement runes and everything. So I got him. I decided I wanted to check him out. I'd been sticking with the same lineup for a while, so I wanted to try something new. So we got Sage Jiriaya right here. So I got him up to red +1, level 87. And these are his growth stats. You can see he's got 2,000 life growth, which is pretty good, and he has almost 1,700 ninjutsu. So he does a lot of ninjutsu damage. He's very strong ninjutsu-wise. So on top of that, he has... okay, so he's got his mystery here, Sage Art Bathing, or Bath of Boiling Oil. Cause ninjutsu damage and ignition to the opponent's entire team and repulse to a selected unit. So this causes ignition to an entire team, which is really strong. It's kind of like May's Mystery a little bit. And then it causes repulse, which we'll get into for those. His standard attack is Taijutsu and Ninjutsu. Attacks the opponent's front row, which has a certain hit and a high chance of triple combo and repulse. So this has a very high chance of causing repulse. It's a very good combo starter. So he's a very good initiator in that regard. He has two chases. His first one is chase and attack a repulsed unit. So as you can see, his mystery and his standard attack both cause repulse, so he can trigger this with both of those. So you chase and attack repulsed unit, causes low float, and it lowers their resistance. This is very important because of Sage Jiraiya's his ignition, right? So as you lower their resistance, that ignition is going to hit harder. So the more you do this chase, the more you lower their resistance, the more your ignition is going to hurt them. And then also he has Chase and Attack Knockdown, causes low float, and that's his little Rasengan that you see. Finally, his last passive is increase. You get 20 chakra points every time that he's about to do his move, whenever he's about to move in the first round. Okay, so the reason that I switched to the Fire main is because he synergizes very well, one, with a Fire lineup, obviously, because everybody's Fire, but then also because the Fire main can cause ignition as well, and he can cause team-wide ignition with his fourth standard attack here has a chance of causing ignition to up to 4 units in the enemy team. So he can cause ignition to the whole team, right? As well as Sage Jiriaya can also. And then every time you do the passive, or you get this chase here, you're going to be lowering the resistance, so the ignition is going to hurt even more. So it's like a full team debuff ignition that you can really start to hurt people with. Also, so this guy causes, or has a very good low float to repulse chase. So his Fire Style Celestial Prison can do a ton of damage to Ninja whenever they use their mystery skill, right? So plus this is low float to repulse. Jiraiya keeps causing low float with all of his chases. So you can get like repulse, low float, he causes it back to repulse. I got Danzo here for the barrier, which... yeah, it's this one. You get the barrier, which buffs your fire ninja, and then also his chase, which causes or repulse back to knockdown. So it's got a really nice chase between those three. You got the barrier here. The only thing that I would say that you could do better with this lineup, I think May would be better overall for this lineup, because May does a lot more damage than Danzo does, and her barrier like effects are much better because she also buffs fire, but then instead of causing chaos, she causes poison, and that poison is going to help with the resistance lowering that your this does, as well as she has a full team ignition mystery too. So I think the only thing you could do better here is you could put in May for Danzo, and I think that would be a better lineup. You could also replace Aruka for Sage Naruto if you wanted to, but I don't have Sage Naruto, so for right now I just got to stick with this. Okay. So for my main character, I was kind of messing around with Fire Style Dragon Flame Jutsu, but I decided that I wanted more survivability, and I wanted Jiraiya to kind of be the main focus of this lineup. So I'm going with the Illusion Mirror, so that way, one, I can give an even bigger shield than the one that he starts off with from Iruka, but then also calls it, or he is then immune to debuffs. So that's like a really big, really important thing. You can do that in the first round, and it doesn't have a chakra cost, which again is going to be really important for the way that this lineup is set up. And then this standard attack, the fourth standard attack, in order to cause the ignition to the whole team. Like I said, Fire Style Celestial Prison works really well for this chase. You can also use Fire Style Burning Ash with the Dog of Hell summon if you have it, but I think this is better because of Danzo, you're getting the immobile as part of your chase, so you don't really need the blind here because immobile is better than blind. So this way, if they use a ninjutsu attack, they're going to end up killing themselves, like doing a lot of damage to themselves as well, and this does do a ton of damage. For this row, you can either go with Mirror Return or Enhancement of Fire Style Ninja. So if you have, if you're really strong, if you have a lot of power and you have a lot of initiative, I would say go for the Enhancement of Fire Style Ninja because that extra damage is going to be really helpful. Right now, in the space-time that I'm at, like the level that I'm at, most of the people are a little stronger than me, and they're definitely faster than me, so they get their barrier up. So, because I don't have the barrier from Danzo, then I go with Genjutsu Mirror Return. That way, it kind of gives me a little bit more tankiness because then we're reflecting debuffs, and it can allow me to survive long enough for my team to kind of kill them with Ignition. So that's what I'm using Genjutsu Mirror Return for. And then the clone, because I didn't really think any of these other ones really helped me all that much. Maybe Death Mirage would have been okay, or Bani Chakra if you need more the chakra. But like I said, I'm using the clone kind of to protect Sage Jiriaya and keep him alive. Also, the clone has a guaranteed repulse at the end of the round if he's still alive. So if you somehow didn't start a chase before, your clone will then start a chase, and he causes Fire Style Celestial Prison on top of that. So the clone is actually very strong. It's a very strong clone. And then you got to go with the deer for this lineup for their way that their chases work. So let's show. So I have Sage Jiriaya first, right? And I have him first so that nobody can cancel his mystery, because when I had him third, he was getting focused by a lot of people, and then his mystery was getting canceled. So I put him first, and so what happens is in the second round, the enemy, if they have a prompt skill, they will use it, and then, but most of the time they target Iruka because Iruka has the least amount of health, because the clone is up here protecting Sage Jiriaya, so Iruka ends up normally taking the most of the damage in the first round, which is okay. We don't really need Iruka in this. We just want his buff and his shield. So then Jiraiya will generate his chakra, and then he will use his mystery in the second turn, causing full ignition to people. It's really strong. And then you get the full combo with the Immobilize, the Celestial Prison, they're ignited, that whole thing. Alright, so okay. So let's just like somebody real quick. And then let's try this out here. So go against this guy who is pretty much the same team, except he's using Hashirama instead of Danzo. We could go against that team also. Let's try, this team's all 3 stars. Let's try this guy. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so he has his Sage Jiriaya third and his Fire Main first, which is what I was doing for a little while, but I actually have the initiative. I have more initiative on him, so that's good. Now, I kind of wish Iruka would have saved his mystery to cancel Hashirama's, but that's okay. So you can see we do a lot of damage already. Now, if I would have known... Actually, the Genjutsu Mirror Return is going to be really helpful here, because every time Hashirama goes to... Okay, yeah, so they focus Iruka. That's fine. We don't really care if he dies. Yeah, that's cool. So then, boom. And okay, so not only did we kill the fire guy, but then we also got the chase off on Jiraiya. So Jiraiya's gonna end up dying. So this should be a win here, unless of course Hashirama keeps us completely immobilized, which I mean, could happen, but that should be the end there, because he, actually, well, you never know. You never know. Hashirama can be a game changer sometimes. But luckily, with the Genjutsu Mirror return, we reflect one of those immobilizes from Hashirama's basic attack. So instead of immobilizing 2 of our ninja, he's only going to immobilize 1 of them, which is very helpful, and he can end up immobilizing himself, which is what he just did there. See, that's why I think Genjutsu Return is so powerful. So he just didn't get to a standard attack that time, and now we win. So if we would have went with the enhancement of fire style, we maybe would have still won. We would have done more damage. However, you can see I got a six consecutive win there. This is a really strong lineup. However, I think that it's more beneficial all around to have the Genjutsu Mirror return, just because of what it's able to do as far as reflecting, like immobilize and stuff, like immobilize and acupuncture. Reflecting that is super, super helpful. Especially, 1, because it doesn't hit your ninja, but 2, because if you immobilize the right ninja on their enemy team, you can completely swing the tide of a battle. Okay, so last but not least, let's check out, here we go. So for his mood, I have plus ninjutsu minus defense. Now, I'm thinking I want to change that to minus resistance, because he's in the front line, but because I have the fire clone in front of him, he doesn't really get hit by basic attacks very often. So I'm going with minus defense for right now. You could also go with minus attack, honestly, because he's got really, really low attack. If you think he's if he's dying too quickly, you could go with minus attack. That's really not that big of a deal. But you definitely want to go with plus ninjutsu, because he has very high ninjutsu growth already, and then all of his damage is ninjutsu damage. So make sure you have plus ninjutsu, and then you can either go with minus resistance, minus defense, or minus attack, depending on kind of like how you have your setup and then what you want to do with him. Anyway, I'm really liking this lineup. I was a huge fan of the Lightning main, but eventually, and I've been doing it for a couple months now. Like, I was the Lightning main for a couple months. So I got Sage Jiriaya. I finally had the ability to test out a different lineup because I had some ninja that would actually work for it. So decided to switch, and I'm liking this lineup, and it's actually helping me out a lot in space-time. You can see I'm up to 12 when I was kind of hovering around 17, 18 as the Lightning main. I'm up to 12 as a Fire main with this new team. So that's pretty good. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This quick little look at my new lineup, as well as the new ninja that I got, Sage Jiriaya. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button down below. Like I said, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And I hope you guys all have a great day. I will see you in the next video, and peace.